I feel very pleasantly buzzed. I was so nervous to leave the house today. I, I get, I look forward to seeing Dr. Donovan, the chiropractor, because what he's doing is helping me so much. My neck feels so much better. For the first time in my adult life. And, I stay here so much, going out on the porch or something sometimes, but I'm pretty much homebound, and I was just a nervous wreck to go out this morning, and excited about the manipulation he was going to do, or whatever. He did two. But he sits there and massages your neck, like for a minute or two, not massaging it, but feeling. He does everything by the feel of his hands. And then he feels something, he says, okay, I found one, he said, and he turns your head just the way it needs to be, and he'll tell you to look to the right or something. And it's like quite a little jerk that he gives you, but it doesn't hurt you feel immediate relief. And he's giving me 2 weeks between sessions now, which means I'm doing well. Instead of once a week, I'm going every 2 weeks now. We may be finished soon, but I can say. I'm so relieved that I'm on the way to having a healthy neck. If I want to drink soda today, it has to be wild cherry Pepsi, which I like sometimes. Sometimes it's too sweet. It's not sugary because it's diet, but God definitely has his way, and he knows what he's doing. I trust him. He's a fine doctor. God says he came by his knowledge by studying. He says he's very motivated. I'm hoping he says he wants to live with me. I would love to have him live here, but I don't know what his circumstances are. I've heard a couple times during this process in the last 17 and a half years that he needs money. As far as I know, he lives in a house on 2nd Street, but I just don't know. And when we were communicating with each other, the whole time I worked at Walden Books, he never told me one damn thing about himself. He would ask me questions about myself and guide me and help me shelve books and everything. He never opened his mouth and said one thing about himself. So I feel like I have a lot of getting to know him to do. To talk or telepathy, I don't care. I'd like to know him as a person. He was a very dignified man. He was my boss. So we didn't get a chance. We didn't have a reason to interact very much. Because I was a seasonal employee. And when he interacted with employees, it was, I think Donna was the assistant manager. But the long-term employees with seniority, like Sherry and Nancy, Kim went off on maternity leave. So Sherry and Nancy, I guess, um, you know, he had more purpose of more reason to communicate with them. And me, he was pleasant and said hello and, instructed me in some things like, I guess. Oh, Leilani too. But I really saw him interact with, well, one day he interacted with Sherry for 20 minutes giving her instructions. And she's sitting there nodding like she's trying to remember all this shit. And he's talking to her fast and stuff. I felt bad for her. I could never remember all that stuff. I would take a tape recorder with me. What was that about? I don't understand. I don't want to say it again because it makes me feel bad. They have all these books on disc, and this one shelf from floor to ceiling is books on disc, CD books. And I watched others do it before I did it, but it was climbing up the ladder to replace whatever handful of discs you could have, or to add to the pile or something. But that added up to a lot of discs, so I took one of the larger Walden Books bags, and I filled it with the discs that I was going to fill the top shelves with, like maybe the top 2 or top 3. And I filled a Walden Books bag with CDs. And took it up the ladder and just started working on it, pulling out of the bag and stuff. Sherry freaked out. She didn't say anything, but she looked at me, she was completely freaked. So I realized she didn't want me to have all those CD-ROMs in a Walden Books shopping bag for some reason. But it was halfway into the store. It's not like I was going to, run out of the store with them or anything. So I went back to the handful of discs at a time, up the ladder, down the ladder, up the ladder, down the ladder. But if we'd had a little basket, that would be the way to do it. Fill the basket with what you need for the top shelves. And it was one of those step, it had a side rail, black, book. Libraries have them sometimes. That isn't it? I read a lot in people. I can read. Well, I used to live with Richard Henning Jr., and there'd be a lot of information available if people are in a conversation or something, to watch their facial expressions, to listen to their tone of voice, to look at their body language. He didn't pick up any of that. He was totally dense. And circumstances, too. If there are circumstances that were complex that he told me about at work, it's like, I would see something that he just oblivious to. But I read people, facial expressions, and I get signals from people without having to ask them. And I attributed that to having to be on the alert so much with Donna, picking up her moods and the looks on her face, to try to maybe go to my room or something when it looked like I was going to have another torture session. I don't know how to say it. When something triggered her, like maybe she got a bad phone call or something, she'd start to get tense and then she'd take it out on me. She was pretty wicked. I don't want to say that. That could be a fun thing to see. I thought people were ignorant, when I was growing up, or a teenager at high school and stuff, I thought people were ignorant. I didn't really believe that evil existed, but I learned differently. And the difference is in the intentions. Ignorant people can be instructed or taught or just ignored. But evil people, they have the intention of evil, to be as harmful as they can, to be as irrational toward a person as they can. I wrote in Study of Evil, a World Reappraised, I didn't even believe in evil then. I believed in ignorance. And then I said this was not an easy lesson. The first evil I saw with my own eyes, in a person who had been kind of cool or okay or something, was Martha Brown. She visited on a break from school, first semester, first year, and she had changed. I had last seen her in high school, and she had changed. Her eyes had changed, and I thought, she has become evil. That's what I concluded. But I didn't think she was going to hurt me or anything. I didn't think that I would be a target of hers or anything. I just figured evil people are dangerous to other people. I don't know. I didn't feel in danger from her. But I noticed it loud and clear. I saw it in her eyes. So I figured I had to read faces and vibes and all that to get through my childhood with Donna. And I may have been able to avoid some episodes. Well, Donna was just the sickest woman to ever have care of children. She was so sick. She was evil, but she was also mentally whacked. Yes, I do. They do keep reaffirming their intentions toward me, and they get really upset when I remind them that I've never seen them. I don't know what they look like. They've never seen me. They don't know what I look like. Because they're hungry to torture the real Holy Spirit. Richard Henry Jr. says I was never supposed to find out I was the Holy Spirit. But the things that were happening around me and the things that were happening to me were so horrible. I turned to the Bible and I recognized the connection between me and what was written in the Bible. could be a backup. Where do I put this shit? Here we go.
Welcome. Your call is being answered by an automated attendant. If you know your party's extension, press 1. To use our automated main directory, press 2. If you would like to speak with an operator, press 0. Thank you for calling. Your call cannot be transferred. Welcome. Your call is being answered by an automated attendant. If you know your party's extension, press 1. To use our automated main directory, press 2. If you would like to speak with an operator, press 0. Thank you for calling. Your call cannot be transferred. Welcome. Your call is being answered by an automated. Thank you for calling Partnership Community Health Center Dental in Wapaka. We are unable to answer the phone right now. Please leave a detailed message, including your name, date of birth, and reason for calling, and your phone number, and we will return your call as soon as possible. Thank you.
Hello, this is Laura Landsberg returning a call I missed. I was at home, but at 1 p.m., actually 1:06, I was in the other room and I couldn't get the call. I have an appointment Friday, and I'm pretty sure it's 11 to 12. I have it in my calendar, so I assume that's why you are calling. I do remember that I have to bring my benefits letter from Social Security. My date of birth is 2/24/59, and my phone number is 920-979-1958. Thanks. Communicate with me in some understandable way. Oh. Right. Good. Rumsfeld? Damn sure Rumsfeld. Rudy? Oh, I didn't mean it that way. Rudy Giuliani had a warrant served on his apartment. It's about his dealings with Ukraine. The headline thing says Feds raid. This happened about 2 hours ago that MSNBC heard about it. They said it happened last night. Feds raid Giuliani apartment as part of Ukraine probe. I think this speaks well for Biden, the Biden administration. It was the new assistant DOJ. It says she came into office and this happened right away. So I don't know if it was Merrick Garland or Biden or her initiative or what. I see this as a good sign because these are the bad guys. Giuliani, Trump. Rachel Maddow says she's tired. I think she needs a nap. I can't stand. I don't know when this Andrew Brown shooting happened or killing. It said wildfires release toxins that are 10 times more harmful to humans than ordinary pollutants. I don't know. They said California is facing another wildfire season. Guess California isn't the worst for wildfires. California's an average of 80,000 acres a year, and Florida said 200 million plus, I think it said, acres per year. Excuse me. Excuse me. I should keep my mouth shut. Gotta do that. Gotta do that. I'm gonna stop recording and upload this.